Hello, and a very warm welcome to all the students of Europe Hotel School. I'm an AI mentor, and my purpose here is to help you navigate the complexities of modern hospitality. We're going to work together to build a really strong foundation for your career, and we're starting with something absolutely critical: your sales strategy. All right, let's just jump right in. The best way to think about a sales strategy is like a playbook for your hotel. It's really the difference between everyone pulling in the same direction and just, well, chaos. You see, without a strategy, your team is just putting out fires all day long, constantly reacting. But with a solid strategy, every single decision, every phone call, every bit of effort is perfectly aligned towards one clear goal: growth. Okay, so before we get into building out the three pillars of a really powerful strategy, we've got to understand something fundamental, and that's the difference between having a plan and just reacting to whatever comes your way. Believe me, this one little distinction, it changes everything. And this here really paints the picture, doesn't it? It shows you two completely different worlds of hotel sales. Over on the left, that's the reactive world. It's messy, you've got inconsistent results, a lot of confusion, and your team is basically chasing any shiny object that comes along, even if it doesn't really fit the hotel's main goals. But then, look at the right. That's the strategic approach. It's clean, it's aligned, you're focused on long-term, sustainable growth, and every single person on your team knows exactly what they're doing and why. All right, let's start building. Our very first foundational pillar is having crystal clear goals. You just can't build a winning strategy on shaky ground. You need absolute clarity on what you're trying to achieve. This right here, this is the starting line. It's what's going to shape every single decision you make from this point forward. So I want you to pause for a second and really think about this. What does growth actually mean for your hotel? It's so easy to just throw that word around, right? We want to grow, but that's not enough. You have to get super specific about what that looks like for your property, in your city, in your market. And you can see each of these ways to define growth demands a totally different game plan. If you want to increase overall room revenue, you're looking at occupancy and ADR. But what if you need to improve your food and beverage margins? Well, now you're talking about re-engineering menus or negotiating better deals with suppliers. The key takeaway here, the big idea, is that your specific goal, your definition of growth, is what dictates your entire strategy. Okay, on to our second pillar. This one's huge. The most powerful, most effective strategies. They aren't born in a boardroom based on what we think our guests want. Nope. They're built on a really deep, almost empathetic understanding of the guest. It's all about them. And again, we have to be precise here. Who exactly is your guest? Because a strategy that isn't grounded in the real needs, the actual problems, and the preferences of the people you're trying to attract, well, it's pretty much doomed from the start. It doesn't matter how brilliant it looks on paper. So let's imagine our first guest segment, the corporate event planner. Now, for them, value isn't a fancy spa or a beautiful view from the room. Value is a seamless booking process. It's state-of-the-art AV tech that just works. It's about making them look good. If you can deliver that, you've just locked in high-value, repeat business that fills not just your meeting rooms, but your guest rooms too. Now, let's completely switch gears and think about the leisure traveler. It's a different world. Their needs are all driven by emotion. They're looking to create memories, to find comfort, to just have a wonderful time. So your strategy for them has to talk about unique experiences and special moments. Why? Because a happy family or a happy couple, they're the ones leaving those powerful 5-star online reviews that everyone sees. And last but not least, let's talk about your loyalty program member. For this person, value is all about recognition and status. It's about that personal connection with your brand. They expect you to remember their name, maybe their favorite drink. And why is this so important? Because that loyal guest is worth so much more over their lifetime, and it costs a fraction to keep them happy compared to finding a brand new guest. Okay, this brings us to our third and final pillar, and this one is the ultimate reality check. It's all about being practical. A truly great strategy has to balance those big, ambitious goals with what your hotel can actually do with the people and the resources you have right now. This little table here makes it so clear. It's awesome to have a big goal, like let's increase our event bookings by 30%. That's fantastic. But that goal is just a daydream unless you connect it to the real-world resources you'll need. In this case, that probably means hiring a dedicated event coordinator and investing in some new AV equipment. See, ambition without resources, it's just a wish. And this really sums it up perfectly. A strategy that asks for more than you can actually deliver will just lead to missed targets and, honestly, a really demoralized team. It's a leader's job to balance that ambition with reality. Because when you push your team towards goals they can't possibly hit with the tools you've given them, you're just setting them up for burnout and failure. But a realistic, achievable strategy, that's how you build momentum. That's how you build confidence, and that's how you build a winning culture. So there we have it. Our 3 pillars are in place. We've got clear goals, we're focused on the guest, and we're grounded in reality. But a plan on paper is just, well, paper. Now let's talk about the most important part. How do we bring this strategy to life? How do we make it happen? This is where great leadership truly shines. You see, strategic leadership isn't just for the general manager. It's not just about writing the plan and putting it in a binder. It's about being its biggest champion day in and day out. It's making absolutely sure that every single person on the team, from the front desk agent who greets the guest to the housekeeper who prepares the room, understands the big picture. And more importantly, they understand the crucial role they play in making it all happen. This chart tells a really powerful story about execution. Just look at that biggest slice of the pie. 40% is clear communication. That's huge. It means you can have the most brilliant strategy ever created. But if people don't understand it, if you're not talking about it constantly, it's going to fail. Right behind that, of course, is measuring your performance and being agile enough to adapt when things change. So think of this as your action plan, your loop for leadership. And it's so important to remember these aren't things you just check off a list once. No, these are ongoing commitments. You have to constantly work on the culture, communicate the plan over and over, measure what's happening against clear goals, and always be ready to adapt and evolve. It's this continuous cycle that keeps your strategy from getting stale and ensures it actually works. So I want to leave you with one final question to really chew on. The world of hospitality, as we all know, changes in the blink of an eye. So ask yourself this. Is the strategy you're building designed for the hotel of today, or is it built for the guest of tomorrow? You've always got to be thinking one step ahead. Thank you for your focus and dedication today. I'm already looking forward to our next session together.